Well, Kunj Bansal joins us to talk about a few stocks. Well, Kunj, more stocks on the downside than the upside. It's not been a good start to the week, and that too after the fall that we already saw on Friday. So in a couple of sessions, you shaved off close to around 500 points. That said, there are a lot of stocks that are moving around. So let's ask you about your view on a couple of them. You have GNFC. That stock is down close to around 6% odd. I remember the stock was in focus. A lot of positive commentary coming out there, from the management as well. At around 720. Any view on the stock?
Yes, so these are commodity-oriented stocks, and in fact, if I remember, the June quarter numbers have been very good. Probably the profit has been high in the order of 50% or even higher. I don't exactly remember, but I do remember that the number was very good. So these are commodity-oriented stocks. They will do really very well in a particular period of time, and then they will be the first one to fall. I'm sorry, when the market as well as the particular product whose prices they were banking on do not do well. So these are good trading bets. I wouldn't recommend them to the medium term investor for whom now with this 2% correction in index, although in terms of Nifty 500 points look good, but let's be very clear that it's hardly 2.5% from the recent peak, which came on the back of sharp 15% rise in 1.5 months. But in that 2.5% fall, we have already have other stocks 5 to 10% correction, let's say banking, let's say automobile. So I would recommend investors to focus there and add there instead of adding these commodity-oriented stocks.
Okay, all right, Kunj, stay with us. We'll just take a quick commercial break, come right back to you. There's 11 minutes to go for market closing. That bit of recovery is there. I mean, 250, 260 points lower on the index, so not quite at the day's low. We'll see. Just a few minutes to go for close. Kunj is with us. We take that break. We're back.
Welcome back. Well, the market's been down and out today, especially on the financials and the mid-cap index as well. 1:2.5 on advanced decline. Kunj Bansal is with us. Kunj, I wanted your thoughts on Jubilant Foodworks. Every time it's attempting a rally, it sort of fizzles out. Any thoughts here?
So in terms of thoughts, my view is positive. Of course, the stock at its low in June saw almost a 30-40% fall from its peak, and then it attempted the recovery, as you rightly said, and has again seen some selling. Probably there seems to be some institutional selling in and around the stock, and that's why it is a fall. The June quarter numbers were reasonably okay, and the management is in transition phase, as we all know. The company has already appointed the new CEO who will be on board soon, and we will get to hear from him. And there's no reason to feel concerned given the high growth business. Whoever comes will try to take it to further highs. So irrespective of the fall which has come today, could come more, because if the market continues and if there is some selling which continues, we can see some more fall. But the view continues to remain positive. Any fall will in terms of valuation, the stock has always remained expensive. But we have seen sharp consumption recovery, in fact, in terms of eating out more than the order in. So that both of these trends are likely to benefit. So net the view remains positive.
Kunj, Nimesh was with us earlier telling us what he's picking up from his conversations. I was saying maybe a little bit more, 300 points, maybe more on the downside before things stabilize. Any thoughts at all, near-term markets? Or, if you have a bigger view, some people do that maybe this is the start of something bigger. Any thoughts at all?
Yes, so my thought is that let's put few things in place. We saw a sharp 15% rise in large cap indices in a very brief period of 1.5 months, number one. Number two, the 2 days correction looks like, oh, what has happened? 500 points Nifty has fallen, but it's mere 2.5% correction. In fact, I would be happier if we see some more correction because money has just started to come in. And my assumption, or if I take an assumption that global money would want to continue to come in, then it will be more happy, the money or the investors will be more happy coming in a consolidating market, in a corrected market wherein they get good valuations. So for me, coming to the larger trend, I think it has turned positive clearly given the way. So we of course saw again oil prices trying to move up from the lows of $90 odd that they had fallen, which is a negative trend. But net the trend looks like will continue to remain negative. For metals, agri commodities, we have already seen the trend continuing to remain negative. And we are in festival season in terms of demand. So that should pick up. Monsoon has been reasonably okay. So that has already improved rural sentiment. So, and when does the risk doesn't remain in the market? So we still have Taiwan risk. I was already talking of oil price, if it starts to go up, we still have that risk. But to me, with the inflation numbers coming in showing it's starting to downtrend at this point of time, positive factors are looking more, or rather not looking, are higher than negative factors on the market. And as a result, with this correction, some more correction, I would be happier. Money will come in and medium term trend will become more positive. So for me, I don't think this correction is a matter of worry.
Okay, all right. Kunj, I wanted to ask you about PI Industries. One of the rare stocks that are in the green. Anuj has mentioned, I'd explained the piece as well. It's one of the big multi-baggers of the last few years. Last year, it fell to around 2,300 odd. In comparison to that, the stock has given you more than 40% returns as of now. It's almost at its 52-week high now. What would you do with it at around 3,400?
So with the disclosure that about a month ago or so, I sold my holding in this stock, but the view remains positive, irrespective of the fact that the stock is at a 52-week high, which obviously would look, valuation look expensive. In fact, if we go back to the June quarter numbers, they were also very good, more so from the export-oriented custom synthesis business, which continues to do well. The domestic business growth, I think, was not there or was in low single digit. I don't exactly remember, but nonetheless, on a net basis, the company continues to do well. In fact, the management also announced in its call that they'll be looking to launch 2-3 new products, again, more in the export market, because that is where they see high growth. So yes, one would want to buy it at any correction, but even if it doesn't come, and if one wants to buy good quality stocks, one should nibble it for some part of the quantity now and keep it in the radar for any correction. It's a very good company. You have already mentioned that what kind of multi-bagger return it has given over the 2-3 year period, over 5-year period, over longer 10-year period. So I don't think, there could be cyclical issues here and there, but nonetheless, it's a very high quality management, very good business model, excellent financials with expensive valuations.
Okay, Kunj, thanks a lot for joining us. Have a good evening.